Now at 5 a.m. on WKYT this morning, the Democratic presidential candidates making their final push for votes ahead of the Kentucky primary election tomorrow. We are live covering the campaign here in the Commonwealth.
A busy road in the heart of UK's campus is closing this morning and will stay closed for a while. We're live looking at how that closure might slow you down this morning.
And one Scott County family is racing against time to complete their family. The Lumpkin story ahead on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Michelle Chamberlain. Thanks so much for tuning in.
I'm Bill Bryant. Glad you're with us. Hope you enjoyed the weekend. We had lots of sunshine, but it sure got chilly, and that is continuing this morning out there. Some areas with a frost advisory active right now. Meteorologist Micah Harris is on duty. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, that frost advisory in effect for the blue shaded region until 9 a.m. Now, clouds moving overhead in the far western zones. That's going to help us out, which clouds moving overhead, that kind of acts as a blanket as you go throughout the nighttime hours. So it does keep you a little bit warmer. It's not warm by any means, but it's warmer. 40 degrees there in Lexington, 42 there in London. As we slide into your afternoon, we're at 62 degrees. Rain moves in tonight and into tomorrow. Guys, some of these days are going to be wet, and some of them are going to be pretty dry. It's not really a washed out type of work week. I'm going to talk all about that and show you when those wet days are coming up.
And let's get right to the news this morning.
Kentucky's primary election is tomorrow, and the Bluegrass has had plenty of attention from the Democratic presidential candidates over the weekend.
Wearing the state
Yes.
out, really, crisscrossing. It continues today with Hillary Clinton set to make several stops here in the Commonwealth. WKYT's Mark Barber is joining us live now, looking ahead to Clinton's planned stop in Lexington later today. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Bill. Hillary Clinton is preparing for her final get-out-the-vote rallies in Kentucky this morning. She will be in Bowling Green before noon, and then she will be here at Transylvania University tonight. Now, she is scheduled to speak here at the Clive Beck Center on North Broadway at 6:45 tonight. The doors for the free event that is also open to the public will be at 4:45. Now, as Clinton gets closer to clinching the number of delegates needed to secure the Democratic nomination, she's hoping to scoop up dozens of delegates in Kentucky. To do that, she'll have to get through Senator Bernie Sanders, who won West Virginia last week. As a Vermont senator campaigned in Kentucky over the weekend, he talked about reforming the criminal justice system, giving students free college, and raising the minimum wage. As Clinton returns to Lexington tonight, we expect to hear her continuing to promise voters that she will try to improve education, create jobs, and raise income for families who have been passed by.
Hillary Clinton needs to stop the momentum Sanders has. This looks like a good state where to stage her defense for lots of reasons we could talk about. On the other hand, we have very little data about where this state's going to go, so Sanders certainly could see it as an opportunity to pull an upset.
So how many delegates are at stake in Kentucky tomorrow, and just how important is Kentucky for Democrats this election? We'll have those answers for you coming up at 5:30. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, an interesting couple of days. Tomorrow's primary is closed. That means only voters who are registered as members of a particular political party may vote for that party's candidates. Only registered Democrats can vote for their favored Democratic candidate tomorrow. Republicans, of course, voted for their presidential candidate back in March in a caucus. But tomorrow is not just a day for Democrats. Everybody can vote if you're registered within a party for U.S. Senator as well as U.S. Representative, and in some districts for state senator and state representative candidates also being chosen. The polls will open at 6 a.m. tomorrow, and stay with WKYT for all your Kentucky primary election coverage.
As the Democrats get ready for tomorrow's primary, the Republicans are looking ahead to the national convention. Our partners at the Herald Leader report Kentucky's delegates have picked Senator Mitch McConnell and Governor Matt Bevin as co-chairmen for the state's delegation. The pair will lead 46 delegates and 43 alternates to Cleveland for the July convention.
And now we have a traffic alert to pass along to you this morning. A busy street in the heart of UK's campus will close this morning.
And it will stay closed for a while. WKYT's Mike Byers live in Lexington this morning with more details on this closure. Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle. This stretch of road that runs through a major part of the UK campus is getting set to close. Beginning this morning, Avenue of Champions from South Limestone to Lexington Avenue will be closed for 2 months. Now, according to our news partner, the Lexington Herald Leader, the closure stems from the $200 million rebuilding of the UK Student Center. Now, Lexington Avenue will remain open to traffic, and Martin Luther King Boulevard will be open for deliveries to Good Samaritan Hospital, but other vehicles will not be able to access Avenue of Champions. Meanwhile, Lexington's 5 newest safety officers will hit the roads today, coming at the perfect time with the closure of the roadway. They'll help with the police department's response times to traffic calls and help sworn officers deal with criminal activity. The safety officers can write citations for non-moving violations, help direct traffic, and help with non-injury collisions. Now, I want to point out the sidewalk that runs along the north side of Avenue of Champions will remain open during the entire duration of the road closure. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
A Boyle County man is still missing. He was last seen a year ago tomorrow. 38-year-old Michael Gorley's family gathered last night to remember him. They lit candles, said prayers, and comforted one another. Gorley disappeared May 17th last year after leaving a home near Junction City. Police don't have any official answers as to what happened to Gorley. His mother says the last year has been filled with heartache.
It's been really horrendous. I have nightmares all the time. I wake up thinking my son's in the house, go through the house looking for him.
Hasty also told us she's determined to get justice for her son. She says she's not giving up. A $3,000 reward is being offered for any information.
We're following a story out of Garrett County this morning where crews are going to try and fill in a sinkhole yet again. The property owner says crews sealed up the sinkhole on Fork Church Road the first time on Friday, and then it reopened on Saturday. The owner says he had the sinkhole examined by an independent contractor. He is confident it does not pose any danger to the road or to the house, but until it is filled in, it is considered dangerous.
When you look down there and you don't see a bottom, you throw a rock down and finally it'll hit bottom, stay away from it. You know, because they could be deadly.
Bratton says he is looking at the glass half full. He says earlier in the week the current tenants had a birthday party for the kids on the front lawn where the sinkhole is now. He tells us crews will try to fill in that sinkhole early this morning.
A Central Kentucky family is in a race against time. They're trying to adopt another child to reunite sisters. This is Aubrey. The Lumpkins family in Georgetown adopted her from China in 2013. Just recently, mom Lisa saw a picture on Facebook that she thought could be Aubrey's sister. Turns out she was right. Avery is Aubrey's sister, and she's still at the same orphanage Aubrey lived in until the age of 9. But soon, she'll be a part of the Lumpkin family, and they're ready to add one more to their family.
I was like smiling and shouting and dancing.
She said, how do you feel about more sisters? And he goes, well, it's pretty cool. It'll be fun. She said, but would you trade them for boys? And he goes, maybe.
Lisa Lumpkins has a gut feeling the girls are twins, not just sisters. She says Avery has to be here before her birthday this fall or the adoption won't happen because in China, a child has to be adopted before the age of 14. Can you imagine on Facebook she found that picture and she was right?
And
what a gut instinct,
well,
right?
Right, but you know, the similarities are quite obvious,
yes.
It looks like. WKYT this morning, just getting started on your Monday. We're glad you're with us. Chilly start to the day. Don't forget your coat if you're heading out. It's 5:08 right now.
Some General Motors dealerships won't sell you some SUVs because one sticker on the car is wrong. Those details still ahead on WKYT this morning.
And nothing can stop a diehard fan from loving their team. We know a thing or two about that here in the Big Blue Nation. Find out what happened to a baseball fan coming up after Micah's forecast.
Yeah, we're seeing some chilly conditions today. It looks like the next few days you'll start to see it warm up, but here comes some rain too. I'm going to show you when that starts coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
It's a pretty good look this morning, but the feel, yeah, not so much. It's still very chilly outside. It's another morning of that with temperatures in the 30s and 40s, and it's mostly clear right now, but we do have some clouds moving in from the west. There's a frost advisory in effect through 9 a.m. and that goes for virtually everybody. Back toward the west and southwest, not so much for you guys. Still expect some upper 30s, lower 40s. But those clouds are now moving overhead, and that's going to help you guys out big time. But it's going to take some time for the east and northeast. Look at Maysville already at 35 degrees. It's a cold spot on the map. in our viewing area. Covington coming in near Cincinnati at 34 degrees. It's 40 degrees now in Lexington. We'll finish off in the mid-30s, upper 30s when it's all said and done. But the clouds will continue to increase as we go through your afternoon off into the evening hours. Temperatures in the lower 60s. And then we head off into the night and into tomorrow. We're holding on to temperatures there in the 50s and 40s. So temperatures actually get better overnight. However, look what comes in overnight, some rain. And that rain sets up really along that 64 corridor and northbound. And there will be a big temperature swing in the next couple of days. Cool air does linger. I will tell you this. I would say around that 64 corridor, it's not going to be directly on top of it. But around it and northbound, we're going to be there in the 50s. All the way down into the southern half, you could be sitting in the lower 70s. So there's going to be a big temperature swing from north to south tomorrow. Nonetheless, most of us will stay in the upper 50s, lower 60s, and that rain once again tonight and into tomorrow. That's what kicks off this wet pattern in the next 48 hours. And it's not a wet pattern all week long, just the next 48 hours, okay? We get into tomorrow. It just doesn't look that good. Pretty widespread rain in the forecast, but it's not for everybody. I would say southern half, you're at about 30–40%. Central northern zones, you're more like 100%. Everybody will get rain central and northbound as that rain moves in, and it continues to just funnel in. So we could add up some rainfall totals tomorrow in some locations to right around an inch, inch and a half. Then we head towards your Wednesday, and that front sags southbound. There is a morning chance in there, but that's about it. And then once that moves on out, it's actually a pretty nice Wednesday in store. Thursday looks good. Friday, Saturday, not so much. Friday and Saturday, we actually get a lot of rain streaming in from the south. And during the winter months, rain coming in from the south typically is a big snowmaker. Well, during these months, when you start to get into late spring off into summer and all that, you're talking about heavy rainfall, because now you're grabbing all that moisture and you're streaming it northbound from the Gulf of Mexico. So Friday and Saturday, guys, look very soggy. It does not look good. If you have plans now, go ahead and start making backup plans. I know it's still a ways away and maybe things could change, but just go ahead and have a backup plan, because that looks like a lot of rain moving on in. So it's not bad. Yeah, it's not too bad, but, you know, it still looks like some rainy days.
Just have to take advantage of the breaks between showers.
Today's a nice day, though, right, for the most part?
Yeah, for the most part.
Well, enjoy that. All right, thank you. Well, some people are diehard fans of their favorite teams. For Kevin Sweeney, he loves the Boston Red Sox.
He was ready for 9 innings of baseball at Fenway Park. Saturday, the Sox were playing the Houston Astros. Sweeney says everything was perfect until the third pitch.
And then just boom in the back of my head, almost like a sledgehammer. And at first I thought of the Boston Marathon. It's something that happened in the area.
Now, Sweeney had to get 10 stitches at a local hospital for that flying bat, but he's all right. Sweeney says missing Ortiz's milestone walk-off double hurt more than getting hit by the bat, but he's already looking forward to his next game.
All right, always a remote possibility, but certainly glad he's okay.
I love how he's just thinking about missing that walk-off, right?
Right. And getting ready for the next game. 5:15 on WKYT on your Monday morning. Good to have you along. Hope you enjoyed your weekend and get ready for this new work week ahead.
When we come back, we'll have a look at your money.
A bank agrees to pay a multi-million-dollar settlement, and millennials are costing the economy billions. I'm Marley Hall, and I'll have those stories and more coming up in your CBS Money Watch report.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back in. WKYT this morning on the air on your Monday. It is 5:19 right now. And a bank agrees to pay a multi-million-dollar settlement involving mortgages.
And we'll find out how millennials are costing the economy billions. Marley Hall has the latest on your money.
M&T Bank has agreed to pay $64 million to resolve allegations that it knowingly certified mortgage loans that violated federal rules. The New York-based bank admits that from 2006 to 2011, it produced loans that fell short of certain underwriting and quality control requirements. A spokesperson for the bank said it decided to settle to avoid costly litigation. Stocks were sluggish on Wall Street as retailers continue to report weak first quarter sales. The Dow lost 185 points Friday. The Nasdaq dropped 19. General Motors is telling dealers not to sell certain SUVs because the gas mileage is wrong on the window stickers. The automaker says the stickers on the vehicles show 1 to 2 miles per gallon too high. GM says in a memo to dealers that it was an inadvertent error. A new Gallup poll finds millennials are costing the U.S. economy more than $376 billion a year. The data showed that between 2008 and 2015, the economy lost about $949 million per day because of a decline in spending by 18 to 34-year-olds. According to the poll, the Great Recession is to blame. That's your Money Watch. For more, log on to CBSMoneyWatch.com. In New York, I'm Marley Hall.
They have a lot of challenges, certainly from high student debt in many cases to lower wages as the economy has been troubled in recent years.
Poor millennials, they get blamed for everything, right?
Well, right. Our time this morning is 5:21, and there's a lot more news coming up for you on WKYT.
Sports is next.
UK softball earns its highest ever NCAA tournament seed in program history, and Carl Towns hauls in some NBA hardware. That's next in sports.
Still with that frost advisory in effect till 9 a.m. Most of us right now in the upper 30s, lower 40s. We still have some time before we actually start to see those temperatures dive just enough to actually get to that frost. But some of the valley regions, no doubt about it. You're actually seeing that this morning. Northern zone's already in the mid-30s. Maysville, we're 35 degrees. Those clouds will not move on in before that sunrise for the most part in the north and the northeast. So you guys, no doubt about it, you guys will actually hit some of these frosty conditions. That 36-degree reading, typically what we look for. Richmond now at 39 degrees. So it's a frosty start, but you'll see mostly sunny skies once you get out the door here in the next couple of hours. Once that sun actually rises, then we go through your day. Clouds on the increase, but that does not mean rain. That just means rain's pushing the clouds toward us. So we'll stay mainly dry as we go throughout your Monday afternoon at 62 degrees. Still well below average. It's about 10 degrees below average, and a much more decent weather in store for today at lower 60s. Then we head tonight and into tomorrow. Here comes the rain. I'm going to talk about that coming up. First, let's check out sports, see what's going on.
The Minnesota Timberwolves have scheduled a press conference for today at noon, where as expected they will announce Karl Anthony Towns has won the NBA Rookie of the Year award. The former Wildcat was impressive in his first season as a pro, averaging 18 points and 10 rebounds while winning the Rookie of the Month award for 6 straight months in the Western Conference from November to April. Towns would become Kentucky's first ever NBA Rookie of the Year. He paid a visit to our station a few weeks ago, and I asked him if he'd already prepared his Rookie of the Year award speech.
No. You got to win. You got to win it first to come up with the speech. But for me, I feel, no matter what happens, I feel great. Knowing that our team is getting to the team that we want to be. We're setting goals, high goals, and we see next year ourselves accomplishing them, and we see ourselves doing really great things. So that's the most important thing, that our team is doing a great job.
Heat and the Raptors playing for their playoff lives in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals Sunday. Just before the half, Bismack Biyombo misses, but Patrick Patterson there for the rebound and the putback. Patterson finished with 11 points, 11 rebounds, and all of Toronto's going wild. Raptors extend their lead in the third. DeMar DeRozan finds Kyle Lowry, pulls up, drains the three. Toronto up by 11. Fourth quarter, Toronto looking for the dagger. Lowry, another three. He had 35 points to lead the Raptors to the 116-84 win. Head coach Dwayne Casey, a former Wildcat on the 1978 UK title team, said his team isn't finished making history. And Kentucky softball is headed to the postseason, and last night the Wildcats learned their postseason fate with the NCAA selection show. Kentucky earning the number 9 overall seed in the field of 64. That means that they will host a 4-team regional this coming weekend. The 9 seed is the best in program history for UK softball. The Wildcats will take on Butler on Friday. Illinois and Utah are the other 2 teams in the Lexington regionals. Winners will play on Saturday with the region final on Sunday. Congratulations to UK softball. That'll do it for your morning sports. Have a great Monday.